Very good morning, children. I'm Deepa, your physical science teacher from Dr. Besant School. So, before starting our session today, I hope you all are watching all the videos, children, and understanding all the concepts, right? Very good. And I hope you all are doing all the written works and sending to the teachers, right? Okay, coming back to our session today. Up to the last session, we learned separating techniques of different mixtures, isn't it? Different separating techniques we learned. Sublimation, evaporation, vapor chromatography, and for miscible and immiscible liquids like separating funnel, distillation, fractional distillation. This is all we learnt up to now, isn't it? Now, as we discussed, air is also a mixture of many gases. So, now we are going to learn separation of components of air. How to separate the components of air means different gases. Suppose we want to separate oxygen from air. So what is the method for that? So to understand that more clearly, a flow chart is given in your book. I hope you all are ready with your books. Open your textbook, page number 49. Flow chart is given to understand how to separate the components of air. For that process, suppose first air. What we should do? Compress and cool. Compress the air. Compress and cool by increasing. Should compress and cool the air. How we will cool? We will compress by increasing the pressure and compress the air by increasing pressure and cool the air by decreasing the temperature. Increasing the pressure and decreasing the. So collect some air and compress and cool air by increasing pressure and decreasing the temperature. Then what will happen? Then this air which is in gaseous state will convert into liquid form. So now what you will get? You will get liquid air. So by doing this, compress and cool by increasing pressure and decreasing the temperature, it will form liquid air. Now what you should do? Allow to warm up slowly. Allow to warm up slowly. How? What you should warm up? That liquid air. The liquid air which is formed is allowed to warm up slowly in fractional distillation column. You all remembered fractional distillation. In previous session we have discussed. In that fractional distillation column, we will slowly warm up the liquid air. Then what will happen? Gases get separated at different temperatures. This makes the gases get separated at different temperatures, because every gas melting point and boiling point will not be same. It varies from one gas to another gas. So at different temperatures that gases will get separated. Understood, children? This is the flow chart showing the separation of components of air. First we will collect the air and compress and cool the air by increasing pressure and decreasing the temperature. Then it will convert into liquid air. Then allow to warm up slowly in fractional distillation column. Then the gases get separated at different temperatures because every gas present in the air do not have same melting point and same boiling point. This is the flow chart. See, in your textbook, he gave different gases boiling point and how much percentage they are present in air. See, that box is given here in page number 49. Boiling points for oxygen minus 183 degrees, nearly 183 degrees, not minus, and argon 186 degrees Celsius and nitrogen 196 degrees Celsius. Whereas percentage present, oxygen is present at 20.9 percentage in air, argon 0.9 percentage, and nitrogen 78.1 percentage is present in the air. Okay, children? Now see, if we want oxygen gas from air, we have to separate out all the other gases present in the air. The air is compressed by increasing the pressure and is then cooled by decreasing the temperature to get liquid air. This liquid air is allowed to warm up slowly in fractional distillation column where gases separated at different temperatures depending upon their boiling points. This is what given in the para. If we want oxygen gas, what we should do? We have to separate out all other gases present in the air. The air is compressed by increasing the pressure and cooled by decreasing the temperature. To get, then it forms liquid air. Then this liquid air is allowed to warm up slowly in fractional distillation column where gases get separated at different temperatures depending upon their boiling points. That is what given here in the form of diagram. You see, separation of components of air, all see in your textbook. Starting filter, the air get filtered and that air is sent into that box where our air will compressed under pressure. Pressure is applied and air gets compressed and that hot air will goes into that condenser. For condenser freezing. Cold water will send inside for condenser. Okay, and the water will comes out and cold compressed air will go to a separator. See, there is a part called separator. Okay, after the separator, the air will convert into liquid air and that liquid air is sent into another column which is called as fractional distillation column. From this fractional distillation column, nitrogen and argon will be sent outside. So what is remained? Liquid oxygen will be collected. Understood? This is how we will separate the different gases from the air. This is all separation techniques of mixtures. I hope I am clear, children. Next, types of pure substances. So far we have studied about mixtures. Example, substances whose components can be separated by physical methods. What about substances that cannot be separated further by any of the methods of separation? We call them as pure substances. So all this what we have learnt up to now, they are separated by physical methods which are called as mixtures. Then there are some substances which cannot be separated easily by physical methods. They are called as pure substances and there are two types of pure substances. They are called as pure substances. These pure substances, there are two types. What are they? One is compounds and the other one is elements. As in the mixtures we have learned homogeneous mixture and heterogeneous mixtures. Again heterogeneous mixtures, suspensions and colloids, and how to separate the components of the mixtures by physical methods. All that we learned, isn't it? Now pure substances. There are mainly two types of pure substances. One is compounds, the other one is elements. What is meant by these compounds? So as we discussed now, mixture which the substances can be separated by physical methods. But whereas compounds, if we consider, suppose let us take copper sulfate solution. Copper sulfate solution. Copper sulfate formula is CuSO4. Cu is copper, S is sulfur and O is oxygen. So let us take copper sulfate solution. What is the color of copper sulfate? Already we discussed it before. Yes, it is blue color, dark blue color. So let us take that copper sulfate solution, and in that solution drop a piece of aluminum foil. Place in this copper solution, keep an aluminum foil and leave for some time. One day you leave like that aluminum foil in copper sulfate solution. After some hours, if you observe, this aluminum foil color will be changed. And this copper sulfate, what color I told? Blue color. That blue color will disappear. Okay, on this aluminum color, another color will be added and copper sulfate blue color will get disappeared. Why? What happened? Because the reaction has taken place between this copper sulfate and aluminum. In this reaction, copper has displaced from copper sulfate. Aluminium displaced copper from copper sulfate, means copper got removed, copper ions got separated from copper sulfate because of reaction with aluminium. So here they got separated or not? From copper sulfate, copper got separated. But copper got separated by reaction with aluminium, not by physical methods. What is this method called? This is called by reaction, chemical reaction. This separation has taken place by chemical reaction. So what is a compound? The substances that cannot be separated by physical methods. They can be separated only by chemical reactions. Such substances are called compounds. They are pure substances which belong to compound. Copper sulfate is a compound. From copper sulfate, copper and sulfur got separated after reacting with aluminium. Isn't it? So this separation is taken place after reaction with aluminium. That is called as chemical reaction. What do we call it? It is called chemical reaction. So here the separation of the components can take place only by chemical reaction but not by physical methods. Such a substance is called compound. It is not called a mixture. Here copper sulfate is not a mixture because copper and sulfur cannot be separated by physical methods. It can be separated only after chemical reaction. So here copper sulfate is called a compound. You are able to understand, children? Clear? This is what compound. So here a table is given in your textbook. See page number 50. Mixtures and compounds. Mixtures. Elements are compounds just mixed together to form a mixture and no new compound is formed. That is called as mixture. Whereas compounds, elements react to form new compounds. Shall we write this on the board? Here we can say these are the difference between elements and compounds. Sorry, mixtures and compounds, not elements. Mixtures, compounds. Mixtures and compounds. Here elements are compounds just mixed together to form a mixture and no new compound is formed. Here they are mixed but no new compound is formed. Just they are mixed, that's all. They are mixed together but new compound is not formed. Whereas elements react to form new compounds. Here for elements, for compounds, elements react means combine to form, elements react to form new compounds. Elements react to form new compounds. Next, a mixture has a variable composition. The mixture has variable. Variable means different. Variable composition means proportion. The proportion of the mixture throughout the substance may not be same. It will be varying from one place to another place. Whereas for compound, the composition of each new substance is always fixed. The composition of each new substance is always fixed. What is the meaning of this? Did you understood? Suppose copper sulfate we have taken. This much ratio of copper and this much ratio of sulfur combine, sulfur and oxygen combine and form copper sulfate. Understood? Percentage, this much percentage of copper and this much percentage of sulfur and this much percentage of oxygen. If they combine in that form only, then only copper sulfate will form. Otherwise, it do not form copper sulfate. That means that ratio is always fixed. But for mixtures, it is not fixed. Sometimes one content will be more, sometimes other content will be more. Understood? It need not be fixed. It can be variable, means changing. A mixture shows the properties of the constituent substance. What is meant by constituent substance? All the substances which are present in that mixture. The mixture will have the properties of every substance which is present in that. Whereas for compound, complete new substance. So properties will be changed. The compound will get the properties of a new substance, not about the substituents which are present in that. Understood? So mixture shows the properties of constituent substances. Shows the properties of constituent substances. Whereas compounds, the new substance has totally different properties. Here constituent substance means all the substances which are present in that mixture. That substance's properties only that mixture will have. But whereas for this compound, it will get completely different properties because new substance is formed. Here new substance is not forming, but here new substance is forming. So the properties are completely different. Compound has totally different properties. As it forms new substance, it will have totally different properties. Last one, the constituents can be separated fairly easily by physical methods. Constituents can be separated by physical methods. Constituents can be separated by physical methods. Whereas in compounds, the constituents can be separated only by chemical or electrochemical reactions. Constituents can be separated only by chemical methods. Chemical methods means only by reaction with other substances. These are the differences between mixtures and compounds. Understood, children? Mixtures, no new compound is formed. Compounds, elements react to form new compounds. Mixtures will have variable composition. Compounds, the composition of each new substance is always fixed. Means they will combine only in that fixed ratio. For mixtures, shows the properties of constituent substances. Compounds has totally different properties. In mixtures, the constituents can be separated by physical methods. In compounds, constituents can be separated only by chemical methods. Note down. Completed, children? Next, we are going to learn about another type of pure substance. So how many types of pure substances we learned? Two types. What are they? Compounds and elements. So you understood what is compounds? What are compounds? The substances that can be separated only by chemical reactions but not by physical methods. They are called compounds. Now next one is elements. Another type of pure substance is elements. So what is compound definition? First of all, see in your textbook page number 51, which is very important, can define compounds as pure substances that can be separated into two or more components only by means of a chemical reaction. Compound is a pure substance that can be separated into two or more components only by chemical reaction. That is called compound. Now elements. Elements can be divided into metals, non-metals and metalloids. Have you listened this name, metals and non-metals? Yes, in 8th class we have learned that chapter, no? They all comes under elements. Can you name some metals? Iron, zinc, silver, gold, all this copper, magnesium, all this zinc, all comes under metals. So they all are elements. Name some non-metals. Non-metals, wood, glass, all this comes under non-metals, which are elements. See here. Elements have been used since the early days of civilization. Metals such as iron, lead, copper helped in the development of civilizations. For thousands of years, all chemists, up to and including Isaac Newton, attempted to unearth new elements and study their properties. Henning Brand, a German alchemist, boiled urine to discover phosphorus in 1669. See, phosphorus has been discovered by Henning Brand. How? By boiling the urine. But it was not until the late 18th century that our knowledge of the elements really took off, as chemists developed new ways to purify and isolate elements. So, who is that discovered phosphorus? The scientist called Henning Brand. Henning Brand. He discovered phosphorus. Henning Brand discovered phosphorus. And Sir Humphrey Davy was extremely successful in discovering many elements: sodium, magnesium, boron, chlorine, and many more. All these elements, many elements were being discovered by Sir Humphrey Davy. Sir Humphrey Davy is the scientist who discovered Many elements. Next, Robert Boyle used the term element, and Lavoisier was the first to establish a useful definition of element. See here, the first person to discover the element, Robert Boyle. Robert Boyle used the term element. Used the term element. This term element was used by Robert Boyle. Whereas definition for element was given by Lavoisier. Lavoisier is the scientist who gave the definition for element. Lavoisier. Lavoisier is the scientist who gave the definition for element. The term element is used by Robert Boyle, whereas the definition for element is given by Lavoisier. See what is the definition. He defined an element as a basic form of matter that cannot be broken down into simpler forms by chemical reactions. What Lavoisier told? It is the basic form of matter which cannot be divided even by chemical forms. Means it cannot be divided neither by physical form nor chemical form. Mixtures can be separated by physical forms. Compounds can be separated by chemical forms, but element is a pure form of matter which cannot be separated at all even by chemical forms. Means even by chemical reaction also element cannot be separated. Understood? It is the simplest substance which cannot be separated anymore by any means. That is called element. This definition was given by Lavoisier. Am I clear, children? If any substance can be separated into two or more constituent parts by a chemical reaction, that substance is definitely a compound. You understood? If a substance is being separated into two or more forms by chemical reaction, then that substance is a compound but not an element. How a compound is formed? By combination of two or more elements, then a compound is formed. Clear, children? This is what element. So three you have learned: mixture, compound, element. Mixture is a substance which can be divided into two or more forms, or which can be divided into two or more substances by physical methods. Whereas compound, it is a substance which can be divided into two or more forms only by chemical methods but not by physical methods. Whereas element, which is a pure form of matter which cannot be separated at all even by chemical methods. By any methods it cannot be separated. That is called element. By combination of two or more elements, compound is formed. Am I clear, children? This is what our chapter is: matter pure. So in this chapter we learned pure, what is meant by pure and what is meant by mixture according to scientific definitions. Isn't it? And types of mixtures: homogeneous, heterogeneous, and what is concentration of solution, how to find mass by mass percentage and mass by volume percentage. And also we learnt about types of heterogeneous mixtures like suspension and colloids, and different types in colloids. Okay, and Tyndall effect. Next, separation techniques of mixtures like sublimation, evaporation, vapor chromatography, separating funnel, distillation, fractional distillation, separation of gases from the air. All this we learned. Next we learned different types of pure substances. Mainly two types. They are compounds and elements. So what is a compound, what is a element, and the scientists who worked on elements. This is all we learned in this chapter. With this we have completed our chapter, Is Matter Pure? Clear, children? So you should complete reading the entire lesson and highlight all the keywords. Any topic, any doubt, you can call and ask me. Clear, children? Thank you.